Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you
Thanks
both.
for getting in touch with me. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
of course. Yeah, I'm happy that you can make it.
Yeah.
So just give another minute here. Anybody else join in?
I'm going to turn my microphone off now before I forget.
Awesome, thank you. Welcome, Sophie.
Hi, so thank you.
Hi, Courtney. Welcome. So we'll go ahead and get started. Just finding a nice, comfortable seat where you can sit up nice and tall, spine lengthened. Welcome, Michelle. So this class is going to be a little bit different. We're going through all the same postures that we've been working on for the past couple of weeks, but I am going to show some modifications with a chair. So this can be a really useful prop. It's not a prop that is talked about too often in standard yoga, but it is a great prop to use if you are recovering from an injury, if you're dealing with mobility issues, if you just want to try chair yoga, this is a really great opportunity. So I will be trying to kind of model both, like all of the asanas without the chair and with the chair. Um, but it might also be a good opportunity for those that may not be using a chair as a prop to just fine tune your listening skills. So just trying to go by what I'm saying versus seeing what I'm doing, okay? So again, just wherever you are, finding a nice comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you close the eyes down or soften the gaze. And we'll just take a few moments here to begin dropping out of the thinking brain and into the feeling body. So begin to tune into the breath, noticing the sound of the inhale and the sound of the exhale. Feeling the belly expand and the belly drop in toward the navel. Just letting go of anything that has happened in the day thus far. Knowing that whatever has happened already is in the past. And anything that hasn't happened yet is in the future. And we don't have to worry about either of those things right now. Right now, all we have to worry about is being present, staying in the present moment. Let's take 3 conscious cycles of breath. So deep inhale here, fill up the entire torso. And exhale, empty the lungs. 2 more like this. Last deep conscious inhale here. And exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. Maybe you bring a little smile to your face. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this time for presence, for healing. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart center. Elbows can press out. So you're actively pressing through both hands. Bow the head down to the heart. And maybe we set an intention for ourselves here for tonight's practice. And this intention doesn't have to be anything crazy or fancy. It can simply be to find presence. Welcome, Consuelo. We're just beginning to find presence here, tuning into the breath, setting our intention. You can exhale, release the hands down to the knees. And we're going to come into some seated side body stretches. So I'm going to sit in my chair here. Now ideally, if you're doing chair yoga, you want a chair that both feet can touch the floor. And if they can't, you can always bring like I've got a cushion here. You can bring a cushion underneath the feet. You can bring blocks underneath the feet. So this really helps to bring the earth up to us. So let's come into some seated side body stretches. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. On the exhale, the left palm comes down. If you're in a chair, you can just bring it to the side of the chair. And exhale, bend over to the left side. Just breathing into the right side body. Inhale, come through center. Both arms reach up. And exhale, right hand comes down. And stretch over to the right, breathing into the left side body. Inhale, come through center, both arms up. We'll do this again, over to the left. Exhale as you extend through the fingers. Inhale here. On the exhale, cactus your arms, so 90-degree angle, elbows in line with the shoulder. Inhale to extend through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus the arm. Last one here, inhale, extend through the fingers. Exhale, cactus the arm. And maybe here, think about lifting up, spiraling the chest and the gaze toward the ceiling just for a moment. Inhale, come up through center, both arms reach up. And exhale, right hand comes down, and we stretch over to the right. Inhale, extend the fingertips long. Exhale, cactus the arm. Inhale, extend. And exhale, cactus. Last one here. Inhale, extend through the arm. Exhale, cactus. And then maybe we think about spiraling the chest up. Maybe the gaze looks up toward the ceiling. Inhale, come through center. Both hands reach up toward the ceiling. Interlace the palms and bring them behind the head. So kind of towards the base of the skull. And we're just going to here, inhale deeply. Exhale, bring the right elbow down, left elbow comes up. Inhale through center. And exhale, other side. Inhale through center. And then from here, on the exhale, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So inhale deeply. And on the exhale, twisting from the navel as you turn to face the right side. Elbows wide. Inhale through center. And exhale, opposite side. Inhale through center. And exhale, release the hands down to your knees. Take a moment here, breathe it out. I'm just gonna grab my notes here. So for those not using a chair as a prop, we'll make our way into our tabletop position. So hands are beneath the wrists, are beneath the shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. And we'll take some cat-cows here. And if we're using a chair as a prop, we're going to do a seated cat-cow. So you can hold on to kind of the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, whatever works. Find a neutral spine first. So sitting up tall, the back is flat, the navel is pulled in towards the spine. This is our neutral table. And then on the inhale, dropping the belly, arching through the spine, lifting the chin toward the ceiling. And exhale, curl through the spine, find your cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 3 more like this, maybe to your own cycle of breath. Just waking up through the spine. Moving slowly, noticing whether you're rushing through these postures. We're trying to come off of autopilot, so just slow it down a little bit. 1 more, wherever you are. And when that last cycle of cat-cow is complete, we're going to prepare for our tiger. So in the chair, you can stay as you are. If you're coming into your tiger, you're dropping the belly just a little bit. And let's start with the left heel. The left heel is going to reach toward the ceiling. So if you are in a chair, you can simply come into your cow posture. So holding on to the sides of the chair, lifting the chest, lifting the chin, but being mindful not to crank into the back of the neck here. So just lifting the chest, arching through the spine, and breathing here, breathing deeply. And if you're in your tiger, that left leg is bent at the knee. So the sole of the foot is reaching up toward the ceiling. 1 more cycle of breath. Squeeze through the glute. Maybe you lift the knee a little bit higher. And on the exhale, curl through the spine. Bring the knee in toward the chest. And from a chair, you'll do the same motion, curling through the spine and just pulling the knee in toward the chest. Maybe the nose drops down toward the knee. Inhale, find your tiger, arch through the spine. Exhale, curl through the spine, bring the knee in toward the chest. 1 more like this. Inhale, arch through the spine, tiger. Exhale, curl through the spine, knee to chest, knee to nose. And on your next inhale, you can drop that knee back, find your tabletop position. 1 cycle of breath. And then from here, we'll find our tiger on the other side. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest, and the right sole of the foot comes up toward the ceiling. And just find your posture here, noticing the energy distribution as you're balancing here on 3 limbs. Try to push equally out through both hands and the left shin on the mat. And on your next exhale, you can curl through the spine, hug the knee in toward the chest, knee to nose. Inhale, tiger, arching the spine if you're sitting on a chair. And exhale, knee to nose. Last one here. Find your tiger, arch the spine, drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhale, knee to nose. From here, replacing that right knee down if you're on the floor, And you can sink your hips back down towards your child's pose. And from a chair, you can simply drape your body over the tops of your thighs. You can also put a pillow underneath your stomach if that feels good. Maybe let the head hang. On your next inhale, rise back up to your tabletop position or to a seated position. And we're going to move through some fire hydrants now. So starting again with the left leg, we'll inhale. The knee comes out towards the long edge of the mat, kind of like we're, a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Okay? On the exhale, drop the knee back down. And if we're in a chair, we can simply hug the knee up into the chest and then open that knee out to the side. So inhaling to open the knee or lift the knee, and exhale, bring it back in. Inhale to open, and exhale, bring it back down. One more here on the left side. Inhale, open the knee up. And exhale, you can release the knee to the mat, release the foot to the floor. And we'll come into our fire hydrant on the other side. So inhaling, lifting the right knee out this time. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, release. And then sit the hips back, child's pose. And if you're seated, just draping the upper body over the thighs. Inhale, come into your tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high and back, downward facing dog. And for our chair modification here, you can stand up and bring the chair in front of you, or go behind the chair, I guess. Holding on to the top of the chair, walk your feet back towards the back edge of your mat, and then you can sink the chest down so the head comes in between the hands, or to any depth really that is appropriate for you. And if you're on the floor, maybe you begin to pedal out the feet. Inhale, look up towards the hands, and then step your feet up to meet the hands, forward fold. And with a chair, the motion is pretty much the same. You can just come down either fully or halfway. Inhale, half lift, so lifting up halfway, hands come to the shins or to the chair. And exhale, fold. And then from it here, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, slowly rise up vertebra by vertebra. The head is the last thing to rise. The hands can be down at the sides. And when you get to the top, rolling the shoulders back and down the body, lifting the chest. Chin is parallel to the floor. Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a moment here to bring our mind's eye to the soles of our feet. So just noticing this connection between the soles of the feet and the earth upon which we stand. Maybe you lift the toes here to activate the arches of the feet. And maybe play a little bit, swaying side to side. So just noticing the pinky toe mound, the big toe mound, and the heel. Tadasana. Nice strong pose. From here, we'll come into our standing banana. So inhale, reach the arms up. You can grab the left wrist with the right hand, And then gently bend over to the right side. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch here, you can bring the left foot behind the right, sort of like maybe like a curtsy. And this will provide a slightly deeper stretch in the left side body. Notice your breath. Notice where the mind is going. Inhale, come up through center. And you can grab the right wrist with the left hand. And exhale, bend over to the left. Again, deeper stretch. You can bring the right foot behind the left. Breathe here. Inhale, come up through center. Reach the fingertips up, up, up toward the ceiling. Maybe you introduce a slight back bend. And then on the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, plant the palms on the mat. And step back, downward facing dog. So again, with our chair, you can just hold on to the top of your chair. Walk your feet back a little bit. And then sink the head between the hands. Maybe the heart comes lower than the head. But if not, that's okay too. Just breathing here. On your next inhale, you can drop the knees. We'll find our tabletop position. And if you're in a chair, you can take your seat. Now we'll come into our cow face legs. So this posture is a little bit more challenging in a chair, but what you can do is simply cross the left leg over the right, just sitting cross-legged, reaching the arms up, and then the right palm of the hand will come between the shoulders, and the back of the left hand will swing around, and it might come to your low back or mid back. Maybe the hands connect, maybe they don't. And this is our cow face, our Gomukhasana in a chair. If you're on a floor, you'll inhale, extend the right leg long down the mat. Inhale, lift that heel up toward the ceiling, cross it over the left leg. Maybe it touches down on the left side of the mat. And then from here, push into the hands, lift the left knee, bring it center to the mat or closer to the center. We'll drop the right knee behind the left. And then you can just begin to sit back in between the feet. So these are our cow face legs. So our left leg is on top. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up. And the right palm of the hand comes between the shoulders. Left back of the hand will swing around to the low back or the mid back. Or maybe the hands even connect. And we'll just find presence here, find your breath. One more cycle of breath. And on your next exhale, you can release the hands, release the legs, return to a neutral position, whatever that looks like, whether tabletop or just seated with both feet on the floor. Now we'll come into our gate. So left leg will extend out towards the side of the mat or the side of the chair. You might want to scoot, if you're sitting in a chair, you might want to scoot kind of towards the edge of the seat. And then that left leg will extend out beside you. Right foot can stay where it is. Left hand comes to the thigh. Right arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Inhale deeply. And then on the exhale, you can bend over to the left side. And same with our floor posture here. We've got our left leg extended out, toes pointing forward. We're coming up onto the right knee. And the same movement with the arms here. So left hand comes to the thigh or to the waist. And on the exhale, just gently bending over towards that extended leg. Two more cycles of breath. Push into the outer edge of that extended foot. Inhale deeply, and on your next exhale, you can release the hands. Now we'll come into a half moon. I'll show this pose on the floor first. Basically, our half moon, you can bring your right hand down beside you on the right side, and then just lift the left sole of the foot up. Toes are still pointing towards the front edge of the mat. So this is our half moon here. Just breathing. And then if you're in a chair, bring my chair like this, you can face the front of it, so you're facing your chair, and simply holding on to either the back of the chair or the seat, and then extending the left leg up to any degree that's comfortable for you. And for both modifications, wherever you are, maybe you explore with reaching the left fingertips up toward the ceiling. And if it's comfortable for your neck, maybe you look up toward those fingertips. One more cycle of breath. And on your exhale, soft landing, so dropping that left foot down. And you can either take your seat or come back to a tabletop position. And then find your child's pose, so sinking the hips down toward the heels or draping the upper body over the thighs. Notice your breath. Notice any sensations that are coming up in the body. So again, this is a really, really great time to drop out of the thinking brain and drop into the feeling body. So just noticing what's happening in the body right now. One more cycle of breath. On your next inhale, you can rise up to a tabletop or to a seated posture. And we'll find our cow face on the other side. So again, if you're seated, you can simply cross the right leg now over the left. If you're on the floor, you can extend the left leg down the mat, lift the heel up toward the ceiling, and cross it over the right leg. Inhale, push into the hands. Maybe you lift the right knee and bring it towards the midline of the mat. The left knee drops behind the right. You can open up the feet a little bit so that they're pointing to the edges of the mat. And then just walk yourself back to sit between the feet. So the knees here are stacked. Now, if you're on the floor and this is uncomfortable, you can always extend the left leg down the mat in front of you, okay? And then finding our cow face arms. So inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Left palm of the hand now comes in between the shoulder blades. And the right back of the hand maybe comes to the low back, the mid back, or perhaps the fingertips connect here. And we'll just be here in this posture for a few cycles of breath. Maybe you bring your chin parallel to the earth if you're noticing that you're looking down, maybe lifting up through the chest. And perhaps you're feeling some tension or holding in the hips, which is very, very common for this posture because it's such a deep hip opener. So maybe you've noticed this tension and you can just direct your breath, direct this prana through the body and down in towards the hips. Maybe you feel a softening of the muscles with each exhale. On your next exhale, you can release the hands, release the legs. We'll come into our gate pose on the other side now. So return back to your tabletop or to a seated posture. The right leg will extend out beside us. Toes are pointing ahead of us, right, towards the short edge of the mat. And then maybe you come up onto the left knee. Right hand comes to the right thigh. Inhale to reach the left fingertips toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, gently bending over to that extended leg. And the same with our seated posture. You can kind of scoot towards the edge of the seat. The right leg can extend out beside us with the toes pointing in the same direction as we're looking. Right hand can come to the thigh. And the same arm variation here. So inhaling to lift the left arm and exhaling to bend over to that extended leg. Again here, just directing breath into the left side body. If you're having trouble breathing in this posture, you've bent a little bit too deeply. So just coming out of the posture if you're struggling to breathe. Inhale, one more cycle of breath. And on your next exhale, you can release. And we'll find our supported half moon on the other side. So simply dropping the left hand to the earth or to a block and lifting the right foot up, the right leg up. We'll face the camera here. So really the outer edge of the foot is lifting up toward the ceiling. And with our modified chair pose, we're just holding on to either the back of the chair, the seat, and then the right leg extends up in the same manner here. Any degree to which you are comfortable. Maybe the right fingertips reach toward the ceiling. And perhaps if it feels good on the neck, you look up. One more cycle of breath. And on your final exhale, soft descend of that right foot. You can take your seat or come back to tabletop and sink the hips down toward the feet and take your child's pose. Again, child's pose seated can just look like draping your torso over the thighs, but you can also bring a pillow underneath the chest, which can kind of elevate you, especially if you have blood pressure issues or anything like that. Just relaxing here. Maybe the chin comes down to the chest if you're seated. One more cycle of breath. On your next inhale, rise up to table, tuck the toes underneath, and lift the hips high and back, downward facing dog. In our chair, we can just come behind the chair, hold on to the top of it, and walk the feet back, sink the chest down. Inhale, look up toward the hands. Step your feet up to meet the hands. And you can take a forward fold with a slow rise up to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, come up to a nice stand. Now from here, we'll step our right leg back. We're going to come into a low lunge. So again, I'll show the floor posture first, and then I'll show the chair posture. So just dropping that right knee down to the ground. The right toes can untuck. So the top of the foot is flat against the mat. And this here is our low lunge. So you can stay with your hands up on your knee here, or you can bring the fingertips to the earth, lifting the chin, lifting the chest, whatever feels good for you. With our chair, there's a few different options here. You can face the chair and have your legs in the same leg posture, leg movements, but holding on to the chair. Or you can sit on the chair, spin to face, let's say, the left side. The left leg can be at a 90-degree angle, and then you can just bring the right leg back. So you're sitting sideways on your chair. Both legs are at a 90-degree angle. Low lunge. Inhale deeply. On your exhale, walk yourself back to a half split. So in the chair, you can just extend that left foot forward so the left leg is straight. Left toes are flexed towards the face. And on the floor, this is our half split here. Option to bring blocks beneath the hands. Toes flex towards the shin, towards the face. Maybe you explore a little bit with pulses here. So inhaling to come up a bit, and then exhaling, maybe you sink your chest down a little bit towards the knees. Inhale to rise gently. Exhale, maybe you sink down. Beautiful. Inhale, come forward, come back to your low lunge. And exhale, plant the palms, step the foot back, downward facing dog. And we come to our low lunge in the chair, and you can just come to the back of the chair and find your down dog. Inhale, look towards the hands, walk the feet up to meet the hands. You can take a gentle fold here and then a rise up to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. From here, we'll come into our low lunge on the opposite side. So stepping the left leg back and dropping that left knee down. So this is our low lunge on the floor. In a chair, we can just spin to the side of the chair. And then find a 90-degree angle with both legs. And you can also hold on to the chair for a little bit of extra support here, especially since we're kind of sitting on the edge. Inhale deeply. And then on your exhale, maybe you walk yourself back to a half split. So in your chair, you're simply extending that right leg forward, toes flexed towards the shin. And on the floor, you're on the back of the heel. And perhaps you can explore with a little bit of pulsing here. And you can do this seated in the chair as well. So inhaling to lift the chest. And exhaling, maybe sinking the chest forward a tiny bit. Inhale to lift up. Maybe you come up on the fingertips. And exhale, sink the chest down. One more here. Inhaling to lift. And exhaling, sink the chest down. Maybe you relax the chin to the chest. On your next inhale, you can come back to your low lunge. So bending into that right knee again. You can plant the palms, lift the back knee, step the right foot back, and find your downward facing dog. Lots of spinning the chair around and forward, but you can always avoid moving the chair and just move the body, right? Two more cycles of breath in your downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to come into a three-legged dog. So inhaling to lift the right heel up toward the ceiling. This can also be done in a chair. So from your downward facing dog, simply lifting the right foot behind you, extending the right leg behind you. And then from here, we're going to come into a pigeon. So on the floor, we're bringing the knee in between the hands. Relaxing onto that back leg. And you can stay upright on the fingertips, or you can relax the torso over the front leg. Maybe you bring the elbows down to the blocks or to the earth. In our chair, we'll have a seat. We'll take the right knee over the left ankle, or sorry, the right knee over the left knee, right ankle over the left knee. I'll figure it out. And this is our figure four. So you can stay here, gently applying a little bit of pressure on that right knee to open it up. Keep those right toes flexed towards the knee, okay? This protects our knee. And if you want, you can hold onto the sides of the chair and gently lean forward to any degree that's comfortable. Find your breath. On your next inhale, you can begin to rise up, nice straight spine. And then lifting the back leg and just stepping back to your downward facing dog. One cycle of breath in your down dog. Inhale, lift the left heel up toward the ceiling this time. Three-legged dog on the other side. And on the exhale, bringing that left knee in toward the hands, find your pigeon. Or you can come to a seat and we'll take our figure 4 on the other side. So left ankle over the right knee. Toes are flexed. And you can hold on to the chair if you want to explore with leaning the chest forward a little bit, or you can simply stay here. Maybe you have your hand resting on the left knee to open it up. Just tuning into the breath. On your next inhale, you can begin to rise up if you're down on the elbows. Tuck the back toes. Step the foot back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, drop the knees, come into your table. And we're finding our bound angle, our Baddha Konasana. So in a chair, you can scoot to the edge of the seat. You can bring the inner edges of the feet together. Face the camera. So this also might be useful to have a block here as well, or a cushion, especially if your feet don't touch the floor. So bringing the inner edges of the feet or the soles of the feet if you have that range of mobility. And if you're on the floor, you're sitting on your sits bones, soles of the feet are touching. Then you can stay upright, or you can, if you're on the floor, you can begin to gently lean the torso forward. Again, this can also be done in a chair if you want to hold on to the back of the chair and just practice or explore with leaning the torso forward here. And if you're on the floor and you have the range of mobility, perhaps you crawl the fingertips forward. Maybe you bring the elbows down to the earth. Relax the chin to the chest. One more cycle of breath. And on your inhale, you can begin to rise up. Release the legs. If you're on the floor, you can extend the legs long down the mat. We'll find our staff pose. So feet are flexed towards the shins. And we're sitting up nice and tall, so sitting up out of the hips, out of the pelvic region. Spine is extended. If you're seated in a chair, this posture can be achieved with one leg at a time. So maybe you extend one leg and you're lifting it up. And you don't have to hold it. It's actually much harder doing it in a chair because you don't have the earth to support you. So just take your time, listen to your body. Maybe you alternate between legs here. Being mindful of the breath. Notice if you're holding the breath. And here doing these staff pose exercises in a chair really helps to strengthen the hip flexors. Making sure to keep the toes flexed towards the face. On your inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, seated forward fold. So just folding the body or relaxing the body over the thighs. You can bring a gentle bend into the knees. And maybe you reach for the toes, the outer edges of the feet, the ankles. Inhale, release, rise up. And if you're on the floor, you can make your way down onto your back. And we'll find our happy baby. So hugging the knees in toward the chest. The feet stay together. Reach through the legs to grab the outer edges of the feet. And then just find your alignment here. So make sure that your sacral bone is not lifting off the floor. So you want that sacral bone, that low back, to be rooted to the earth. And then from there, you can explore with kicking the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling. And if we're in a chair here, we can bring the feet together, open up the knees. Make sure to be sitting actually a little bit back on the chair so you don't fall forward. And then reach through the knees and around them so that you're kind of grabbing the outer edges of the leg. And then you can relax the chin to the chest. Perhaps you rock side to side if you're on the floor. And before we go into our Shavasana, before we go into our pranayama, our breath work, I just invite you to take any intuitive movement that you feel your body might need still. So maybe you're extending the legs down the mat, maybe you're hugging the knees in, maybe you're taking a supine twist. Just doing whatever your body is asking for. And knowing that you are listening to yourself, you are listening to your needs. This is an act of care, an act of self-love. Maybe one more cycle of breath wherever you are. And then you can begin to slowly find your way to a seated position. And we'll work through our pranayama here, our breath work, which is an important part of Hatha Yoga. So sitting up nice and tall, perhaps you're cross-legged or on a block or on a bolster like myself. And we're going to do a bit of bees breath. So I did this breath during my last in-person class, and I just really enjoyed it. It's so calming. And so what it looks like is we're taking our thumbs and either plugging our ears, like by closing the little cartilage there, or you can like stick your thumbs directly into your ears, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then there's a few variations with the rest of the fingers. You can either have them on top of the head, or you can have them covering the eyes, whichever feels safest, okay? And basically how it looks is we inhale, we leave the ears open, and on the exhale, we plug the ears and we hum, kind of like a bee. So I'll show you what it looks like first. So we inhale, leave the ears open. On the exhale, plug the ears. Inhale to open the ears. Exhale, plug and hum. So feel free to join in whenever you are ready. Inhaling deeply, ears are open. Exhale, plug. Inhale, open the ears. Exhale, hum. Inhale, open the ears. Exhale, plug and hum. One more guided. Inhale, open the ears. Exhale, plug your ears and hum. Let's do 5 more rounds of this. Do it to your own cycle of breath. Inhale deeply, release the hands to the knees, and exhale. Notice how you feel. And whenever you are ready, I invite you to come down onto your back, legs extended for Shavasana, our final resting pose, corpse pose. So feet may become as wide as your yoga mat. Maybe you snuggle the shoulder blades beneath the body. Palms can face up in a gesture of receiving. Noticing which parts of the body are touching the earth and sinking into those areas with each exhale. Perhaps you recall your intention for the practice. There's nothing more that you have to do here. The call will end automatically in about 2 minutes. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with me today, for practicing, for loving yourself. We need more of that in the world, so thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste. Always to remember as well, if you have any questions, you can email me soul.yoga2024@gmail.com. Have a wonderful night, everybody. I'm going to mute myself here.